Where is Starman by SpaceX now? Today, we'd want to remind you that if you're seeing this video, unless you're under the age of 3, you're a remarkable person and you are unique because you were present. So, allow me to elaborate. It's been around 3 years since Orbit X flew a Tesla into orbit, and it feels like an eternity because a lot has transpired in the meanwhile. But the recollection of that day is so fresh that it could have been yesterday. Where were you on February 6, 2018? It's not every day that you get to see Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket on the planet, take launch. It was one of the most iconic moments in the history of space travel. That kind of moment will never be forgotten, and you, my dear, were there, aware or unconscious. That is why you are unique. But what happened to the Tesla Roadster with the celebrity man on board and the quote, "Don't panic," on the dashboard? Has it been discovered by aliens? Did it collide with an asteroid? Is it still there? Follow me on this adventure to learn more about the Starman and his Tesla. The Tesla Roadster was propelled into orbit around the Sun, crossing Mars' orbit. But, before we get into what happened to it, let's take a step back. Indeed, some of you may have missed the launch and are wondering why we sent a Tesla around the Sun. Everything began with SpaceX's piano playing of the Falcon Heavy launcher, a strong rocket. Falcon Heavy is made up of 3 Falcon 9 9-engine cores, each with 27 Merlin engines that produce more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, which is equivalent to around 18,747 aircraft, or, if you prefer, approximately 26.597. Elon Musk, assuming a weight of roughly 188 pounds for the SpaceX CEO. However, if you are planning to launch a brand new rocket, you must be certain that the new launcher will function properly. Finally, they decided to launch it while loaded with a Tesla. A mannequin is on board. It was both stunning and practical at the same time. In reality, they were just interested in testing the launcher, with the Tesla serving as a dummy payload. The Falcon Heavy's first flight was an unloaded scientific test. Since Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla, he decided to launch his own Tesla, the one he used to drive to work. Here's the second meme for the day, but what made them decide to send a Tesla into space? As previously stated, the practical reason was to test the new Falcon Heavy launcher, but there is another, possibly more crucial motive: they launched it to excite the audience. In truth, SpaceX's distinguishing quality has always been to dare the impossible, to create something unique without relying on excessive advertising. Do, don't tell, we may say. That is why everyone on the planet admires Elon Musk and SpaceX. Because they work on actual issues and provide real solutions. They actually send a car into orbit and leave the rest of the world to watch and see what happens. If you get excited when you hear about SpaceX and Elon Musk, it's usually because you know they mean what they say. And if they told you they were going to launch a Tesla car into space, you'd probably believe them, even if it felt like a lovely tall story to you. The public is being inspired by SpaceX to try something new. Rather than launching a dull fake payload, they chose to launch something that would motivate the viewers. Believe it or not, many people who were previously uninterested in space became so after witnessing a Tesla drive into space. Perhaps it motivated many of you to pursue a career in aircraft engineering. In reality, while some have said that the introduction was merely a marketing ploy, we cannot deny the enormous good impact it had on our and future generations. This is what we observed, by the way, and this is what flat earthers claim to have witnessed. As if driving in space wasn't enough of a spectacle, the Roadster had a few subtle and not so subtle Easter eggs. The spacesuit worn by the mannequin was not a costume, but rather the first in-space use of a garment developed for NASA astronauts to wear on SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft crewed flights to the International Space Station. Another element was revealed as the camera switched from showing the Roadster from the side and front to a view looking over the Starman's shoulder. On the dash screen was a sign with a science fiction-inspired caption. Prior to the Roadster's December debut, Musk was asked on Twitter if a copy of Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy would be included. Yes, Musk said, plus a towel and a sign saying, "Don't panic." Musk posted a more subtle, concealed message on Instagram shortly after the Roadster entered orbit. Printed on the circuit board of a car in deep space, Musk said, captioning a photo of an inscription that read, "Made on Earth by humans." More than 6,000 of those human SpaceX employees had their names inscribed on a plaque installed on the payload attach fitting, which fastened the Roadster onto the Falcon Heavy's second stage. Last but not least, after being shot into deep space, a Hot Wheels Tesla Roadster, replete with a little star guy, rests on the dashboard of Elon Musk's Roadster. "It's kind of silly and fun, but silly and fun things are important," remarked Elon Musk. "I believe the imagery will pique the interest of people all over the world. Perhaps it will be discovered by some future alien race who will wonder, what the hell were these guys doing? Did they worship this car?" Musk joked. "How can they have a small car in the car? That will completely perplex them. Everything was propelled into orbit around the sun. But where has this automobile gone?" When this script was produced, the location was 36,200,112 miles, or 58,258,451 kilometers, 0.389 AU, 3.24 light minutes away from Earth, traveling away at a speed of 1,180 miles per hour. With 126,000 gallons of fuel, it achieves a fuel economy of 11,249.9 miles per gallon, or 4,782.9 kilometers per liter, 0.02091 liters, 100 kilometer. If the battery was still charged, Starman would have heard Space Odyssey 286,544 times since launching in one ear, as well as Is There Life on Mars? 386,106 times in his opposite ear. Yes, as the Falcon Heavy left, Starman was listening to them. To resolve the upper stage from Earth, a telescope with a diameter of approximately 8,550 feet or 2,606 meters would be required. In perfect conditions, a smaller one would perceive him as an unresolved dot approximately 16.4 feet in diameter. The vehicle has driven far enough to round the globe 62.8 times. It has been 2 years, 10 months, 20 days, 16 hours, 24 minutes, and 11 seconds since launch. But, in the future, may Tesla collide with the Earth? There is a 6% possibility that a star guy will collide with Earth in the next couple million years, so don't be too concerned. For the time being, it is still orbiting the Sun, reaching a distance of 0.99 AU at its closest point to the Sun and a distance of 1.6 AU at aphelion. A Tesla Roadster year is roughly equivalent to 1.5 Earth years. But consider this, what would you expect to happen to a car in space? Be sure to like or dislike the video before finding out the answer to this question so that we can continue to improve and make these films better for you, the viewer. Also, subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell so you don't miss any of our weekly videos. Carbon-carbon bonds are hence extinct. That's it, tires. Paint is no longer present. Seats are gone. All of the biological material will deteriorate over time. Only aluminum and glass are likely to survive, but micro-impacts will harm the automobile and the mannequin, leaving micro-holes where machine gun bullets once struck. It would be wonderful to get a better look at it. In fact, SpaceX has stated that they may send a modest mission to reach our Tesla and assess how it is doing. All of the erosion processes take a long time, but we don't know how long. Many of these materials have never been exposed to space. As a result, launching a tiny expedition like that may be rather exciting. Here's an artist's interpretation of what this little mission would see if it reaches Starman. Anyway, the space car immediately became the subject of internet memes. Western Australia police released a photo of a radar gun pointing at the Roadster when it was flying above Australia. A parody video showing a Coda Superb being driven to Mars, a village in central France, was created by Coda. Donut Media attempted to launch a Hot Wheels Tesla Model X into the stratosphere using a weather balloon. The SpaceX launch live stream garnered over 2.3 million concurrent users on YouTube, making it the platform's second most watched live event, after only Felix Baumgartner's fall into the stratosphere in 2012. Now all we have to do is wait and see what happens next. What, for example, might SpaceX launch as a mock payload for Starship? Do you have any suggestions? What could inspire future generations? This video has come to an end. Thank you everybody for watching.